What is up guys, Jarv here, back today jumping into Destiny 2. Now in today's video we're taking a look at Shadow Price. This is a reprised weapon from Destiny 1 that finds itself now in Destiny 2. So if you want to find out where to get it and the best ways to get it, be sure to stick around and enjoy the video. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to leave a rating down below. That super helps me out here on the channel. And if you are new here or you want to keep up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 content, be sure to hit subscribe as well. But without further delay guys, let's jump into the video. Now with the launch of Season of the Chosen, Season 13, we now have the introduction of Nightfall exclusive weapons. And this includes 3 reprised weapons from Destiny 1. One of those is Shadow Price, and the other 2 being the Palindrome hand cannon and the Swarm machine gun. Now in this video today, we're specifically taking a look at the Shadow Price, one of the most nostalgic weapons inside Destiny. Now if you weren't fortunate enough to get this in Destiny 1, the Shadow Price is a legendary energy auto rifle inside Destiny 2. It's a precision frame, so the weapon's recoil pattern is predictably vertical, and it is a 450 rounds per minute auto rifle. Now huge shout out to my friend Ivy, who let me jump on his account earlier today to get the footage that you see throughout this video. Now as you can see here, one of the legendary traits on Ivy's auto rifle is overflow, and this is where picking up special or heavy ammo reloads the weapon beyond its normal capacity. He's added a backup mag mod too, and with a magazine of 45, this means overflow will allow for a capacity of nearly 90 rounds. And in the final column we have fresh, and this is where killing combatants with the weapon will generate a small amount of super energy. And as this weapon is also masterworked, it will create orbs of power, also providing additional sources of super energy. Now with the reintroduction of Shadow Price, these aren't obviously the only traits available on this weapon. Now if we take a look at the first tier of legendary traits, there are a lot of familiar ones and also some brand new ones introduced with Season of the Chosen. Now one of those can be seen here, and this is called Bottomless Grief, and this is while you're the last living member on your fire team, each takedown refills your magazine. Alongside this we have Surplus, which increases your handling, reload and stability for every fully charged ability, alongside Killing Wind, where final blows grant increased mobility, weapon range and handling for a short time. An old fan favourite is 4th Time's a Charm, and this is where rapidly landing precision hits will return 2 rounds to the magazine. And the final 2 on offer are Feeding Frenzy, where each rapid kill with this weapon progressively increases the reload speed for a short time, and Overflow, which we have on the auto rifle today. And in the final column of legendary traits we have again some unique options here. One for All is a personal favourite of mine, and this is where hitting 3 separate targets will increase damage for a moderate duration. Alongside this we have Disruption Break, where breaking an enemy's shield with the weapon makes them more vulnerable to kinetic weapon damage for a brief period of time. The one we have on our auto rifle today is called Fresh, and this is where killing combatants with the weapon generates a small amount of super energy. Alongside this we have Swashbuckler, and this is where the weapon gains increased damage from melee kills and kills with this weapon. And the penultimate perk is Unrelenting, where rapidly defeating targets triggers health regeneration. Guardians and powerful combatants count as more than 1 kill. And the final perk on offer is Dragonfly, and this is where precision kills create an elemental damage explosion. So as you can see, there is a great set of perk pools available here. There's 6 in each column, giving you a great chance of getting a very good roll. So that's what the Shadow Price is, and the legendary perks are available on it. But how do you get it, and what is the best method? As we said in the beginning of the video, this is a Nightfall weapon. Now you can get this through the Nightfall Ordeal. You'll find this in the Vanguard playlist over in the Director, and upon selecting this mode you'll see there's an Adept, Hero, Legend and Master version, all with their own specific power level requirements. Now important thing to note here is as we work our way through the difficulties of the Nightfall Ordeals, the drop rate of exotics matches that of the Nightfall weapons themselves. So if they're uncommon in the hero version for exotics, it will be the same for the Nightfall weapon. So the thing to think about when you're farming out a Shadow Price, if that's what you want to do, is that the drop rate will be very similar to that of exotics. And as we know, Adepts and hero versions of these activities have a very low exotic drop rate indeed, and that will be the same for the Nightfall weapons too. Now if you do want to farm out a Shadow Price, naturally the harder the Nightfall Ordeal, the greater chance at getting the weapon dropping at the end. Another thing to bear in mind, much like with exotics, is that the champion medal does matter. So if you're able to achieve over 100,000 in point score and get a platinum champion medal, then you're doing everything that you can to further increase your drop rates. Now, another thing to bear in mind with these Nightfall weapons is there are two variants. You have the standard version, which is the weapon that I'm using today, but you also have the new Adept versions. Now, these are exclusive to the Grandmaster Ordeal. These aren't available yet and will become available in March this year. Now, the Adept versions act in the same way that Adept versions work in Trials of Osiris. You'll have increases of +3 across the board on all stats on the weapon, with the Masterwork providing a +10 to a specific stat, whether that be range, stability, handling, or reload. And as we know from previous seasons, the drop rates of exotics is very high in the Grandmaster Ordeal, and as such it's very likely that the Nightfall weapons will also have a very high drop rate. So if you want to farm this out in the most effective way, the best thing to do right now is probably to build up your power level and approach the Nightfall in one of the harder difficulty settings. Now, a thing to bear in mind is that whilst the Shadow Price is available this week, the Palindrome and the Swarm are not, and early signs point towards a weekly rotation on these Nightfall weapons. So if you do really want a Shadow Price this week, now will be your opportunity to go get one. So that's what the Shadow Price is, its entire perk pool and the best ways to get it. But is it worth it? Is it a good weapon? Well, the perks themselves are very good, and on any other weapon would be absolutely top tier. Now, the thing about the Shadow Price is that it's 450 rounds per minute, and as it's a precision frame, it actually has one of the worst optimal time to kills in the game at 0.93 of a second. And whilst that doesn't sound great, in fact the weapon has some of the best base weapon stats in the entire archetype, outperforming Braytech Werewolf and even Breakneck across its base stats. And as we said earlier, as this can roll as an Adept version later in the season once Grandmaster Ordeals open, that will only further increase its base weapon potential. Now, the thing that separates the Shadow Price from all those other legendary auto rifles that we just mentioned is that this is an energy weapon. Uriel's Gift was the only arc energy auto rifle as of last season, but became sunset as a result of this season. However, Shadow Price fills that void, and not only does this weapon have better base stats than Uriel's Gift pretty much across the board, it also has one of the best perk pools also available to it. Now, with the launch of Season of the Chosen, we got a huge list of patch notes. However, 450 RPM auto rifles were not included on that list. So sadly, 450 RPM auto rifles will not be competitive inside Crucible. However, with a good perk combination, it still has viable potential inside PvE. So there we have it, a good look at the Shadow Price, a returning legendary weapon from Destiny 1 that now finds itself inside Destiny 2. So if you have your absolute heart set on farming one of these out, be sure to jump into the Nightfall, but the harder the difficulty and the better the champion medal that you get, the more likely you are to get rewarded with the Shadow Price auto rifle. Now, if you have enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a rating down below. That super helps me out here on the channel. And if you're new here or you want to keep up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 content, be sure to hit subscribe as well. I'm going to jump back into the game as always, guys, but I will catch you all again very soon.